Hello, I am Honore de Balzac, resurrected to illuminate my enduring work. It is peculiar to address you from beyond the grave, yet I am eager to dissect Père Goriot through a modern lens, a method I believe offers a fresh perspective on its core themes. In essence, this viewpoint involves dismantling the taken-for-granted aspects of society, its objects, its structures, and recognizing the array of forces, seen and unseen, that drive the narrative. Think of it as understanding how technology, both tangible and intangible, shapes destinies and perpetuates inequalities. I aim to reveal how these seemingly neutral tools are, in reality, powerful instruments in the creation and maintenance of societal misery. Let us begin with the Maison Vauquer, the boarding house. It is more than just a building. My perspective shows that it is a complex entity of both people and things. As I meticulously detailed in my writing, its decaying facade and greasy interior directly shape the lives of its inhabitants. These details solidify social hierarchies and confine their existence. The Maison Vauquer is, in itself, a microcosm of Parisian society. Ah, yes, the Maison Vauquer. I wrote this analysis some time ago, attempting to dissect how seemingly simple things can hold so much weight. It is more than just a building. In my view, it's a complex system where society and technology meet. I paid great attention to the details in Père Goriot, the decaying facade, the greasy interior, the worn furniture. These aren't just for show. They shape how the characters interact and reinforce the social hierarchy. Think of it as a social group in itself. Rastignac, Goriot, Vautrin, each sees the boarding house differently based on their place in society. Rastignac sees it as a stepping stone, Goriot as a refuge, Vautrin as a place to exploit. Even the stairs act as a barrier, marking social distinctions. As Goriot loses status, he moves higher up, further isolating him. The dining table, where everyone gathers, is another key element. It is a space where social performances are enacted and judged, where gossip and speculation circulate, and where the character's social standing is constantly negotiated and reinforced. In my analysis, I argue that viewing the Maison Vauquer through the lens of the social construction of technology helps us understand that the building is not just a passive backdrop, but an active participant in shaping the lives of its inhabitants. This perspective compels us to move beyond seeing technology as simply material objects. Instead, we can examine it as a concept, one that's molded by society. It also enables a deeper understanding of how seemingly mundane elements contribute to the perpetuation of social inequality. I found that it's a powerful instrument in creating and maintaining social misery for my characters. Ah, yes. The Maison Vauquer. I poured so much detail into its description, and for good reason. It's more than just a building. It's a living, breathing entity that shapes the lives within it. From my perspective, it's a socio-technical assemblage. That is, a blend of the technical and the social. Think of it as a stage upon which the drama of Parisian life unfolds. Remember, we're looking at how technology is socially constructed, how different groups perceive and interact with it. And within the Maison Vauquer, we see just that. Each character interprets its significance through the lens of their own aspirations and social standing. For Rastignac, it's a temporary inconvenience on his climb to success. For Goriot, a sad retreat from a world that no longer values him. And for Vautrin, a den of opportunity, ripe for manipulation. Consider the very stairs themselves. They are not merely a means of moving between floors, but rather a physical manifestation of social hierarchy. As Goriot falls from grace, he literally ascends within the building, isolating himself on ever cheaper floors. The dining table, too. Ah, yes, where was I? The Maison Vauquer. In my novel, it is more than just bricks and mortar. It's a breathing, decaying character in itself. As I wrote it, I wanted to show you how technology, and I'm using that word broadly here to mean not just machines, but also systems and structures, shapes our lives. Now, in modern analysis, there's a fascinating way to look at this. It's about understanding how technology and society build each other. Take the stairs, for example. They're not just a way to get from one floor to another, they become a physical manifestation of Goriot's decline. As he loses his wealth, he moves higher and higher, further away from everyone else. And the dining table. It's another crucial element. Think of it as a place where social interactions are acted out, where ambitions clash and secrets are whispered. The very act of sharing a meal becomes a performance, dictated by the unspoken rules of Parisian society, space for the performance of social rituals, and a site where information and misinformation is exchanged, shaping reputations and influencing relationships. Indeed, when I reflect on the Maison Vauquer as a relevant social group, I see how profoundly the inhabitants' varying interpretations shaped their destinies. For Rastignac, that young ambitious man, it was a launchpad, a rather unpleasant but necessary immersion into the cutthroat realities of Parisian life. For poor Goriot, it became a refuge, a place to disappear from the judgmental eyes of his daughters. And for Vautrin, that enigmatic character, it served as a microcosm of the larger societal corruption that he so ruthlessly exploited. These perspectives help to shape the technology in question. Even the physical elements play a role. Take the stairs, for instance, a seemingly simple object. I now see them as barriers, physically reinforcing social distinctions. As Goriot's fortunes declined, he moved to progressively higher, less desirable floors, isolating him from the others. It all matters. Ah, yes, where were we? Let's consider the Maison Vauquer, that wretched boarding house, from a fresh angle. I ask you to think of it as more than bricks and mortar. See it instead as a machine, a social machine, if you will. Now, I want you to think about how technology is shaped by society and vice versa. In my novel, the boarding house is a relevant social group itself. Each inhabitant, Goriot, Rastignac, Vautrin, embodies different aspirations, different levels of wealth. Their interpretations of the boarding house's significance reflect their positions in Parisian society. For Rastignac, it's a launchpad. For Goriot, a refuge from his daughters. Vautrin, he sees it as a microcosm of societal corruption, ripe for exploitation. Consider the stairs. Those stairs act as a physical barrier, reinforcing social distinctions. As Goriot descends into poverty, he ascends to the higher floors, isolating him. And what of the dining table? That is another critical element. The dining table, around which the boarders gather, is another crucial technological element. It's a site of performance, where social status is both displayed and negotiated. The quality of the food, the seating arrangements, and the conversations that unfold all contribute to the construction and reinforcement of the social hierarchy within the boarding house. From my perspective, this detailed examination is more than just descriptive, it's analytical. By highlighting these seemingly mundane details, I wanted to show how even the most basic elements of our built environment are imbued with social meaning and function as technologies that shape our lives. What I sought to illustrate is that technology is not just about cogs and gears, but also about how society constructs and uses those objects. Think of it as the social construction of technology, how these things are made and how we give them meaning. Yes, the dining table, around which the boarders gather. In Père Goriot, it is another crucial technological element. From my perspective, it is a focal point for both social interaction and economic display. The quality and quantity of food served, the seating arrangements, the very conversations held around that table, all contribute to the establishment and reinforcement of the social hierarchy within the Maison Vauquer. It's a stage upon which the drama of Parisian society is played out in miniature. When I wrote this, I wanted to emphasize that we need to move beyond a simple understanding of technology as just physical objects. It's about examining how these things are built into our social lives. In this boarding house, even the smallest things shape the characters' lives and perpetuate the inequalities around them. Technological element. The dining table, around which the boarders gather, is another crucial site for the performance of social rituals, the exchange of information, and the reinforcement of class boundaries. In my perspective, analyzing the Maison Vauquer requires us to consider how its physical and social elements are intertwined. It's not just a building, it's a carefully constructed environment designed to perpetuate social hierarchies. This approach, where we examine how society shapes technology, helps us understand that even something as simple as a boarding house is a powerful instrument in the larger machinery of Parisian society. It also requires an actor network viewpoint. This is where we map the relationships between all actors, human and non-human, revealing how they mutually influence each other and shape the narrative's trajectory. Focal point. It's here that social performances are enacted, rumors are exchanged, and judgments are passed. The quality of the food served, the seating arrangements, the topics of conversation, all contribute to the maintenance of the social order within the boarding house. In my perspective, analyzing the Maison Vauquer through this lens, examining how technology is socially constructed, reveals how seemingly mundane aspects of the physical environment actively shape social relations. The boarding house isn't just a neutral backdrop, it's a technology of social control, reinforcing existing power structures and limiting the possibilities for social mobility. It's a small but potent model of the larger Parisian world that I sought to capture in Père Goriot, highlighting how environment and economics shape us. Yes, where were we? The Maison Vauquer. From my perspective, it's more than just a building. It's a breathing, decaying character in itself. The very structure dictates the lives within. Now, if we are to truly understand its workings, we need to move beyond seeing it as just bricks and mortar. We need to see how its construction influences the people inside. In my work, I explore the idea that technology isn't just about machines, but about how society shapes the tools around them. The Maison Vauquer functions as a social instrument, a stage where different aspirations clash. Consider the stairs. They are not merely a way to get from one floor to another. They represent a barrier, a physical manifestation of the social hierarchy. As Goriot's fortunes decline, he ascends higher, further isolating himself from the others. Even the dining table around which everyone gathers becomes a battleground of social maneuvering. Crucial technological element. Around that dining table, social performances are enacted daily. The quality of the food, the seating arrangements, the topics of conversation, all contribute to the reinforcement of social hierarchies and the exclusion of those, like poor old Goriot, who have fallen from grace. In my novel, the Maison Vauquer isn't just a building, it's a machine designed to grind down its inhabitants, particularly those who lack the resources or social capital to escape its clutches. It exemplifies a crucial perspective that I wanted to bring to light. To truly understand society, we must understand that even seemingly mundane objects participate in the construction of our social realities. We have to realize that technology is never neutral. It is always shaped by, and in turn, shapes, the society in which it exists. It is a construction. Look at this eye. It is watching you right now. In my Paris, surveillance was human. The concierges, the neighbors, the salons. You always knew who was spying on you. You could close your door. Your surveillance is invisible. This is what this slide calls the digital panopticon. The algorithm watches you constantly. It records every click, every pause, every hesitation. And here is the most terrible part. You know it, and you change your behavior accordingly. My characters in Père Goriot were already self-censoring. They calibrated every word, every gesture to please Parisian society, but at least they only played that role in public. At home, they could be themselves. Camille and Chloe, our influencer girls, no longer have that refuge. They perform constantly, even when alone, because the camera is always there. They no longer act for themselves. They act for the eye. And when one lives only for the gaze of an algorithm, one ceases to exist as a person. I described a society that devoured its children through judgment. Your society does exactly the same thing. but the judge never sleeps. Yes, the dining table. It is another crucial technological artifact within the Maison Vauquer. I always considered it a stage upon which social performances were enacted daily. The quality of the food, the seating arrangements, the topics of conversation, all meticulously crafted to reinforce the existing power dynamics. My perspective as the author of Père Goriot was to illustrate how seemingly mundane objects and spaces are, in fact, instrumental in shaping our social realities. It is what some modern scholars refer to as the social construction of technology. This idea suggests that technology is not just about cogs and gears, but is shaped by social forces. And connected to that is actor network theory, which invites us to consider non-human elements, like this very Maison Vauquer, as active participants in the network of relationships that define our lives. The boarding house is not merely a backdrop, but a character itself influencing and being influenced by the other actors in the drama. And so, when considering the Maison Vauquer, we must appreciate that it is more than just bricks and mortar. From my perspective, as the author, it's a deliberately constructed reflection of the wider social landscape of Paris. The stairs, as I conceive them, are not merely a means of moving between floors. They become a physical manifestation of social stratification. As poor old Goriot's fortunes decline, his ascent to the cheaper, less desirable upper floors signifies his descent in social standing, isolating him from the rest. The dining table around which these disparate characters gather also plays a crucial role. Think of it as the internet, the town square, or even the local coffee shop. It's a stage where social performances are enacted, alliances are forged, and conflicts simmer beneath the surface. It's a place where appearances are everything, where the characters perform respectability even as they conceal their true intentions in dire circumstances. Yes, the dining table. This is another crucial point that Balzac, established in Père Goriot. Around this table, the boarders gather, and it becomes a stage for social performance. The quality of the food, the seating arrangements, the conversations, all serve to reinforce the power dynamics within the Maison Vauquer. It's a technology of sorts, isn't it? A device that transmits and solidifies social standing. In my analysis, I aim to show how these seemingly mundane elements, like a dilapidated building or a shared meal, are, in fact, instrumental in shaping the lives of my characters. They are not simply passive backdrops, but active participants in the drama, contributing to the misery and inequality that permeates Parisian society. I believe I expertly demonstrate this through the decay and order within the Maison Vauquer node within this assemblage. The quality of the food, the seating arrangements, and the conversations that unfold around it all contribute to the maintenance and reinforcement of social hierarchies within the boarding house. As I wrote, Père Goriot, I sought to expose how these seemingly mundane elements, the very bricks and mortar of the Maison Vauquer, are in fact active participants in the drama. We should understand the social construction of technology as a way to see how technology isn't just neutral tools, but are shaped by social forces and, in turn, shape society. Another tool, actor network theory, suggests the boarding house isn't just a backdrop, but a network of human and non-human actors, all influencing each other. My perspective, then, is that these technologies are deeply intertwined with the characters' fates, contributing to the overall sense of misery and constraint that permeates the novel. Yes, the Maison Vauquer. Let us continue dissecting it. The dining table, around which the boarders gather, is another crucial piece of technology in my narrative. It's a site of constant negotiation, where social performances are enacted and information is exchanged or withheld. The quality of the food served, the seating arrangements, the topics of conversation, all contribute to the maintenance of the established social order within the boarding house. It is a central node in the network of social interactions. When I consider the social construction of technology, I am not simply talking about cogs and gears. I'm thinking about how society creates technology and how technology shapes society in return. And when I use actor network theory, I am examining how everything, both human and non-human, act as a network to influence each other. In this light, the Maison Vauquer is a prime example of how physical space and social interaction become intertwined to create a system of oppression. The dining table, around which the boarders gather, is another crucial piece of technology in my story. It's not just a place to eat, but a site of constant social performance and judgment. The quality of the food, the seating arrangements, the conversations that take place, all of these contribute to the reinforcement of social hierarchies. From my perspective, understanding the social construction of technology helps us see that the Maison Vauquer is not just a building. It's a carefully constructed environment that shapes the lives of its inhabitants. Similarly, actor network theory illuminates how the various elements within the boarding house, the residence, the furniture, even the very air itself, interact and influence one another, forming a network of relationships that determines the flow of power and resources within this microcosm of Parisian society. It's a world I built, brick by agonizing brick.